The Zohar says, right in the beginning of today's parasha, Korach, that Korach was korach ala sholem. He went against the concept of sholem. The concept of sholem he went against. A good parasha, you can understand that he was about machlokus, so he went against sholem. And on the other hand, look what he said. Ki chol ha'eda kulam kedoshim. Everybody. Moshe Rabbeinu Kibiyachol made parties. Kohanim, Levim, Yisraelim, Degel Machane Yehuda, Degel Machane Reuben. No, everybody's the same. Everybody's kulam kedoshim. Same way, that's like more. It's harmony. It's friendship. It's Ava v'achva. It sounds like kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim. What's the union of cholak ala sholem? The Sfasema says like this, that there's a big difference between Aronite coins going into the Heichal, and being Maktik Torah, and going into Kodesh HaKadoshim to the Avodah, and what Korach wanted. Aronite Cohen, when he did the Avodah, he was a shliach of Klal Yisrael. That means that when you say he's a shliach, I always like to emphasize on the kudi that when you talk Torah, when you're talking Torah, everything is absolute, it's definite, it's real, ad hasof. And we're living in such a olam ha-sheker nowadays. Now let's say Lamosel, this line that I just said, the shliach of Klal Yisrael, the representative of Klal Yisrael. We're used to, Brahman al-Etzlan, it crept into our heads, into my head, not to others, but the ideas in the world, the representative. In America you have senators, congressmen. In this Medina you have Chavrei Knesset. He's kibiyachol, he's the representative of a certain group. Does that really mean he represents the group? No, doesn't really. Think about it a little bit. It's just a way of talking. It's just a lashon. It's what you call it. And then they tiny it that later on he didn't do the ratzon habocher. That he promised that we're not going to have a Palestinian state. He promised his bocharim, why do you say that in English? His constituents. Is that the word? Yeah. And then he said, then he goes and he talks to the men there in Gaza, and he discusses we're making a Palestinian state. He's not doing the Ratzon HaBocher, that's called, or other things like that. So does it bother the politician that he's not doing exactly what the voters elected him? Well, it doesn't bother him, because this is what you say. How can it not bother him, I'm asking? But you're their representative, you're their shliach. The answer is, in olam ha-sheker, it could be such a thing. You say, it's a way of talking, it's a way of saying. He's their representative. That means that they voted for him. But now he's on his own chair. He's sitting on the chair and he's running, and I'm not Emloch, I'm the king, I'm the prime minister, I'm whatever I am. And I'm doing what I want, and he doesn't have to say those words, he just lives like that. And then the people, they can say what they want. And then they write in the papers right against him and for him, and he's not doing what the voters elected him for. And he just goes on, let them say, let the papers say. Tomorrow they'll forget about it and they'll write about something else. And on the other hand, and when the press criticizes him, do they really care? Does it really bother them? That's their job, to write, to say things. So they write. He's not doing what they elected him for. And maybe they don't like him and they want to throw him down, so they write against him. But nothing is real, nothing is emes. But lahavdol elef avdolos, when in Torah, when we say such a thing, he's the shliach of Klal Yisrael. He's mamish the shliach of Klal Yisrael. That means that every yid has a certain nekuda in him, a certain a certain mekoriyut, in what he's special, in what he's unique, and in his neshama. Every Yid's neshama was sent down to the world to accomplish something that nobody else can accomplish, even the most pashut Yid, everybody. And that special kedusha that this Yid has, he's as if giving from it to the shliach, to Aaron HaKohen, to the Kohen Gadol, that he should take all that kedusha of all these sparks from all the Yidden, he should take with him, and with that go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim and be makdir the Ketores. That's what it means, a shliach of Klal Yisrael. That's mitzad the mishalech, the Klal Yisrael. Mitzad the shliach of the Aaron HaKohen. So he knows, and the truth is, he can't do anything without having the Klal Yisrael behind him. He could be the biggest tzaddik, and he was Aaron HaKohen, the biggest tzaddik. But with which koch, what gave him the koch to go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim? The fact that he's the shliach of Klal, he's taking a Klal Yisrael with him. There's a lashon in the piyutim that we say on Yom Kippur after the Seder HaAvodah. There's a few pages of piyutim that we say.
11:15.
Bring me mitztayer. How does it say that the Ashri me that saw all these things? Hello, lemishma ozen doavo nafshenu. Ashrei ha'am that saw this, that saw that, and we were in such pain that we didn't see all these things in lists and lists. And there's a lashon, I don't have it here in front of me. I should have brought it. That it says Ashrei, the one that saw the Am going into the Kodesh, the Am that's rogish, that's making noise, that's cooking in the Kodesh HaKadoshim. What do you mean? There's only one person goes into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Well, no, the Klal Yisrael is going in because he's the shliach of Klal Yisrael, and he has no koch without the Klal Yisrael. That means he's mikocham. He's going in. That's Aaron HaKohen. And the pasuk is Aaron Mao. What's Aaron? Kisa Aaron Mao. Kisa. Who's Aaron that you? Aaron Mao. Even in the Pashto Pshat, Aaron Mao Kisa Lino Olav. How can you fight against Aaron? Don't you see on Aaron HaKohen that he's doing it because Hashem sent him? Don't you see on him that he's only a shliach, that he's doing it but a shliach? He's not a mutzlach like I call. He's not going in, oh, now I'm going to take all my Torah that I learned and all the Havana that I got and all the Hatzlacha that I had all my years in the yeshiva, and with that I'm going to go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and I understand what Avodas HaKarbonos means because I learned Kodshim so many years and I heard so much Torah on Kodshim, and with that, no, that's not Aaron HaKohen. Aaron HaKohen went into the Kodesh HaKadoshim with the feeling, who am I? What am I? I can go into a Kodesh HaKadoshim. I have the kochos to go meet, to go where the mokum of the Gilu Shechina, to go to the place, what it's called, the place that's Mechaber Shamayim V'Oretz. I could go in such a place. But the shluchim, the meshalchim that I come from, I come b'koach a Klal Yisrael can go into the tzibur. There's a koach that's called koach HaTzibur. It's a very powerful, I feel Baalei Averis, but if it's a tzibur, so the tzibur has a koach. That, and with that, Aaron went into Kodesh HaKadoshim. That's called Shalom. That's the emes of Shalom. Because the pshat is that he's going with the feeling that we're all together. We need one another, not just we're together. We need one another. It's very, very hard to feel that feeling for people like us. Let me describe first what korach was. But korach said, why can't I go into the Kodesh HaKadosh? And he was right. Korach was a big tzaddik. Yadua. It's Yadua what the Yismach Moshe said to his grandson. He said he remembers all his Gilgulim, the Yismach Moshe said, where he was before. So So he remembers that he was in the Dor Midbar. So his grandson asked him, which side were you on, Korach side or Moshe? So he says, I stood on this side, I didn't know who to join. So they said to him, his grandson said, what do you mean? You mean you didn't join Moshe Rabbeinu? You didn't go with Moshe Rabbeinu? So he said, if you would have known who Korach was, you would have had a hasaga who Korach was. You wouldn't ask such kashas. What do you mean? What do you mean? Korach was an old tzaddik from previous generation. And Aaron, the Sfasema says he looked like a ish pashut. Compared to Korach, he made the impression. I didn't see it now, but I heard it from the Shemer that the Sfasema said such a thing. He looked. Maybe it's over here. No, it's not. Aaron looked like, compared to Korach, he looked like a ish pashut.
How is this possible? Where does he get this from?
Just to demonstrate. I don't know.
Oh, okay, good.
Just to demonstrate. I'm at Korach, when he davened, you saw the Dveikis, you saw it looked like you almost see the Malachim flying around. And Arnie stood there like this. So, of course, but Korach said like this, since I'm such a tzaddik, which he really was, and I'm on such a madreg, why can't I go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim? I can't go in there. I can't do that avodah. Can't be maktik terrorist. And more than that, he tani kolei the kulam kadoshim. So it sounds like he's talking about peace. He's talking about everybody's equal. It sounds like a certain shita that there is in the world. Everybody, all men are equal ways, whether you call it democracy or whether you call it communism. All men are created equal. But what's deep down? I can make it by myself. That's what deep down lies in it. I can do it by myself. I can go into Kodesh HaKadoshim. I already made it. I already was so successful reaching madrigas in such dveikus I am. I could get a little bit higher. I can get by going into Kodesh HaKadoshim. Well, what am I any different? And Kol Ha'ida. So everybody will do it. That's a lot of individuals. That's not shalom. That means what he's saying is every individual can make it. Everyone can be a mutzlach. You don't need, bekitzer in one word. Shalom means I need the other person. Not just I'm in peace with the other person. I don't yell at him when I go to shul. I feel like yelling at him, but I keep quiet and I don't do it. That's not enough. Of course, every little bit is a madrega, but it's not enough. That's not. Shalom means that there's such harmony between people that the pshat you need the other people. You daven with them. Meaning, I would advise. I would say like this, that when you go to shul and you daven with them, meaning, once in a while, be misbonen, that the pshat davening with them means I need these 10 people. I need them, and then you might, if you think that machshava, and you might look around. Yeah, I need these people. Yeah, this one, that one. This one looks in the Mevchazar Hashatz, and this one shakes himself the way like a lulav there. And it can't be that he's concentrating on davening if he's shaking himself so hard. And this one is Stam looking around, and this one is Rahman al-Islam looking at his iPhone in the middle of davening. Rahman al-Islam. And this one is davening out of the iPhone. He's modern, and he davens with the iPhone. That's where his sitter is. And you mean I need all these people? I don't know. For me, it's very hard to believe that. It's a very big nisan. I'm a Noah Dorish maybe, but I'm not a Noah Mekayim. I admit, I'm honest. I'm not Noah Mekayim. When I go to show, these are all the machshavas that run through my head. So I'm saying like this. Davening with a minion, you should try a little bit to be aware that if you came in a Shemaim, you were in Izdaman, that you were with these 10 people. It means you need these 10 people to help your tefillah go up. What does it mean? And Korach didn't have that. And that's what it means.